and I believe somebody might be joining us later to tell us their story. So I'm excited to hear that because I haven't heard it yet. I'd noticed things that seemed to connect, that seemed strange. And you might have from your life, you'll think, wow, that was a coincidence. Was it? Yeah. And you can have coincidences that are both positive and negative. And that is, it sounds very similar. We were all, both me and Angela, we were we suffered from depression when we were younger, and we've been through not similar background, but similar struggles emotionally, I guess. Yeah.
That's good.
And I believe somebody might be joining us later to tell us their story. So I'm excited to hear that because I haven't heard it yet. So we always start with a quote. Now, this quote is from somebody, it's from 1983 by Lieutenant Colonel Wayne McDonald. He was a US Army officer tasked with analyzing the Gateway experience, which we'll talk about in a little while. It's a conscious expanding training system developed by the Monroe Institute. And he says, the technique of patterning recognizes the fact that since consciousness is the source of all reality, our thoughts have the power to influence and shape our experience. And he was tasked with evaluating the scientific validity and military applications of the Gateway process on behalf of the US military intelligence. So we're gonna talk about that again at the end, but some exciting stuff to let you in on. And I have done the Gateway experience, as have you, and I do find that has helped my manifestation. So
they're really transformative. They really are.
But we'll talk a bit about that later. I do want to note that quote is from the CIA declassified papers, and generally in that paper, McDonald is explaining what Monroe is teaching, a manifestation and various other things, and he doesn't claim definitively that it's true what is in there, but he presents it as a plausible mechanism based on the holographic model of reality and known physics concepts of the time. And at times he even appears to endorse it as the logic of the system. So especially when it aligns with quantum physics, because quantum physics in that paper, the holography and studies of consciousness. So it's backed in science. The whole idea was that they were going to see if it is, real, see if it's backed in science, and then use it for military purposes. So anyway, more about that later. I'm going to pass you over to Angela to tell us a little bit about what synchronicities is, because it's important that we know this.
So I'm going to read two quotes from Carl Jung, because he's big on synchronicity, and I'm going to expand on them as well. So synchronicity is a meaningful coincidence of two or more events where something other than the probability of chance is involved. So what does this mean? To me, as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as coincidence. Everything aligns to connect it with the next thing. So, if you see random events that are reoccurring, or messages that are reoccurring, anything that repeats itself more than once, there's a message in that for you. And that brings me to the second quote. Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. What that means is that the synchronicities are everywhere. The messages are everywhere. We just need to be aware of them. And this is beautiful. Synchronicity can come in the form of signs, like angel numbers or repetitive messages. If you see an animal more than once, there's going to be a sign there for you. But even synchronized events, certain things that you might say, oh Jesus, that was a coincidence, how that happened, how that aligned. Like I'll describe a synchronicity we spoke about earlier, and this is to do with the Gateway experience. So, me and Carla connected through our coaching community last year, and you were doing nice videos. And literally a few weeks before you mentioned the Monroe Institute, I was actually after watching a lot of documentaries on the Gateway Experience on the Monroe Institute. And Karen mentioned it in one of her videos, and I was like, oh, I commented, I was like, oh, I know about that as well. So we actually connected on that, and that actually expanded our friendship. But it also opened up our telepathic connection. So that's what a synchronicity is. The synchronicity that I'd randomly watched these documentaries just before she mentioned it, and for me to comment on it. And you sent me all the Gateway Experience meditations then as well. But everything gets aligned so that it works out perfectly. So for example, there's another synchronicity of how I met my twin flame. It's like I was getting my broadband installed, and literally it was cancelled so many times. There was random guys came out to check the area, but it was cancelled then about 3 times, and then it aligned for him to be the one to install my broadband. This is it. If things fall apart, they're actually opening up for something better to happen. So if something changes route, it's aligning you onto that path. So that's what it is. It's random events that occur that actually bring together this connection in a sense. So, when you think of something as a coincidence, it's not. It was supposed to happen in that way. It was divinely aligned in that way to open up to the magic of the end. And, that's the beauty of it. So, keep your mind open to these signs because they're everywhere. And like literally a sign could literally say, this is a sign. And it's a sign, you know what I mean, of something. It will resonate with you in some way. Even seen on number plates, random 111, 222. This is all signs. Or, my computer one day, when I was actually setting it up, was like, good things are coming. You know what I mean? That's actually a sign that good things are coming. So listen for these little random, what you might think of random coincidences. If anything just pops up, like, it's actually there to show you something. So that's kind of what a synchronicity is. It's just a random coincidences that aren't actually coincidences.
Yeah. Well, since I started doing the Gateway Experience, and I've been doing it a long time, not just that all the time I use other meditations, but my go-to is not working through them in order, but I choose the one that I particularly like and just do that one. But when I started, after about a week or so, I noticed repetitive numbers everywhere, and they were usually 1s or 2s. So it would be 1 1. So in fact, actually, the kids at school, which has now become a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I kept on going, oh, it's 11:11, because I'd look up at the clock and it'd be 11:11 all the time. So, but now the kids have clocked it, so now they're pointing it out to me, so it doesn't feel quite so synchronistic now.
But it's still a synchronicity. Even if the kid points it out, if the child points it out to you, or even if I randomly just shared 11:11 online and you saw it, that would actually be the synchronicity as well. So it's still a synchronicity, even if it's the kids that spotted it for you.
Yeah. Well, but I've seen it so much, and I see it all the time. 11, 2, or 11:11, or 22:22. I see that a lot. It's usually 11s for me, but sometimes other repeating numbers. And often when you look up what that number means, and then something happens that's like in a line with that. So that, when you do the Gateway Experience, it really opens you up to things that you've been missing, things that you didn't realize, things that you hadn't noticed. So yeah, it's really powerful. And I used to do Mindset Live with somebody else. So you were we were meeting coaching, weren't we? But we hadn't talked about the Gateway or anything. And Mindset Live was very separate from you at that point. Yeah. But you used to watch it, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched it all the time, yeah.
So that the fact that you had got this interest in it, and then I happened to mention it on this live when we hadn't communicated it at all. And you might notice, I noticed things like I might think of an image of somebody will pop in my head, or I'll think of somebody and then I'll receive a message off them, or I'll think of somebody in that they'll come to the door, or I'll find out something that's happened to them at that time. And I've noticed that through my life in small doses here and there. What me and Angela find is we have a planning meeting for Mindset Live on a Saturday, And often we would come with the same idea, even though we hadn't communicated it. We're like,
that
I think
even
we should do
happened
this. It's like,
before
oh
we
my
started
God.
doing lives. Yeah, because even before we started doing lives, I would randomly have done a video, and for my channel, and then I watch your live stream. I'm like, oh my God, I just did a video on this. Like, and I wouldn't have even communicated with you about that. It was just we obviously we were in sync in that way. Like, it was weird, but that's it. We can actually have telepathic communication with anyone that we have a friendship or a connection to. I have telepathy with you, I have telepathy with my other female friend, and I have telepathy with my twin flame. But it's all interconnected. We can actually have, we can read people's minds effectively. That's the thing with this this manifestation, that this power of our mind. We can create our own reality. So we can, we can tune into something that we're not even aware of.
Yeah. And it's fair to say that both me and Angela don't watch TV. And I think that really helps you be aware of these things. I think when you watch a lot of TV, you are less attuned to this kind of stuff. So I noticed this stuff before I did some stuff, not the numbers. I'd noticed things that seemed to connect, that seemed strange. And you might have from your life, you'll think, wow, that was a coincidence. Was it? Yeah. And you can have coincidences that are both positive and negative, and that is likely to do with what your thought patterns are. Yeah. So we've got, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if it's Eliza or Eliza, who is from our coaching group, that is here to tell us a little bit about her manifestation story. Eliza, do you want to just message to let me know that you're available and ready? While she's coming in, yes, last week when we were talking about manifestation, my mum went away and had a little think about some things from her life, and she messaged me. So I'm going to read to you what she messaged me after watching the Mindset Live about manifestation. Sorry, I'll see if you can come straight in, and if not, I'll read the story. I'll stop when you so I'm just going to add Eliza in, or Eliza, sorry, she'll correct me when she comes in. So she said, this is my mum messaged after last week. I've just thought on, oh no, that's the wrong one. She messaged another one first. So, oh, where's the beginning of it? I listened to last night's Mindset Live, is what she said. And it got me wondering about my dad. For over 10 years, he had occasionally drove past Castle View. Now, Castle View was a big house in Doncaster that views the castle, Conisbrough Castle, which he ended up living in, saying how he would love it. Then he parked up and had a walk around outside. He took photos and he studied them. He put in a low price as it needed a lot of work and he couldn't afford more. It was refused. He continued driving past, dreaming. A couple of nights, oh, I've lost where I am. Hold on. A couple of nights, I saw him sat at the table, drawing plans on a sheet of paper of how he would modernize the house. A week later, he had an emergency call from Steely Quarries and he rushed there. He was a plumber. He sorted the problem and the manager said, wow, you were quick. And Dad answered, I would have been quicker still if I'd had the house that I would like. Dad told him about Castle View. The manager asked, do you know who owns the house? My granddad, her dad, said, no, we do. Steely Quarries owned the house, okay? And we want rid of it. Dad said he didn't. Dad said he couldn't offer what he did before because more vandalism had taken place because it had been left empty for a while. They agreed on a figure. He told my granddad to ring the agents with his new offer and wait for a response. He did. Then the manager phoned the agents asking if there had been any offers. They told him of my dad's offer and were told to accept, and the rest is history. And she says, it makes me wonder, was his passion for it so strong, and did the drawing the plans as he did, as if he owned the house, act as manifestation? And I would say yes.
That's a fact. You have to embody it and feel it as if it's already yours. Act like it's already happened. And I do. I mentioned just a quick one about my cat. You know, I was coming and home to the universe when I got a cat or a dog after my other dog passed away because the dog I'd left was lonely. And I was like, oh, I don't know which to get. So that's a false message to the universe. So you're not going to manifest unless you're completely sure of your intention. So I decided on a Sunday morning, I'm going to get a cat. That's it. I'm getting a cat. And then I decided I have to go and buy the things I need to prepare for the cat. So I bought a kitty litter tray, I bought cat litter, and I bought cat food. 4 days later, I got my cat. Do you know what I mean? Because I acted as if I had room in my house, as if the cat was already here, and then she appeared.
Aligned action, isn't
yes,
it? It's like
you really
action as if you've already got it.
Yeah.
Hi. Is it Eliza or Eliza?
It's Eliza, but it's okay. Don't worry.
Eliza, sorry.
People often get it wrong. It's okay.
Welcome. I'm really excited to hear
you
about your story. So let us know about your manifestation story.
Yeah, it's a bit long, so I've tried to think how I can put it in a short space. I don't want to go on too long. But it basically started with a bad childhood and lots of abuse, and neglect.
Are you there? Hey!
Hey, I don't know what happened there. It just logged out, and then I was listening to the replay. It's weird. Maybe the universe doesn't want me to share.
Oh, the universe does. As it wouldn't I let you back in?
I'm just joking. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, bad childhood. So I was a very introverted person, very shy. I had no friends. I didn't know how to have friends. And my first manifestation, I'll use that word, or awakening, kind of happened when I was 19. I got really sick with a chronic illness, and I remember laying in my hospital bed one night. I'm a religious person, and I was praying to God, and it just suddenly hit me. And to this day, I don't know if it was the drugs because I was on a lot of medication, but it just hit me, and I got really emotional, and I just felt, wow, God loves me. He cares about me and he's there for me. My family wasn't there for me at the time. I had an adoptive family that were looking after me, and they're like my family. They are my real family. And yeah, I just got so emotional in my bed. I was just crying and wow, I just felt so connected and so loved. And I think that's probably the start. But then it continued. A very good friend of mine told me the truth. I find that many people today, they don't tell the truth about each other. I call it tickling their ears. They tell people what they know they want to hear. But a good friend told me the truth, and I've had a few good friends over the years that just told me the truth. And we have to be able to take it, right? I think people don't say anything because they don't want to lose a friend.
Yeah.
By telling the truth. But you have to do it because otherwise you're not a friend, are you? It's not real. So yeah, and this friend helped me to learn how to want to have friends because I was so hermity. I just sit alone on my own in my room and be depressed. That's no good. I had to learn to be human, and this person really helped me with that. So that was a big one. Just having honesty from someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It
then
sounds very similar. We were all, both me and Angela, we were we suffered from depression when we were younger, and we've been through not similar background, but similar struggles emotionally, I guess. Yeah.
That's good. I'm in good company then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you think about something intensely, or do some meditation, or write stuff down and then find it appear in your life?
That came later. I went through a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
and that was another key changing point in my life. Going through that, learning to be alone. I got married to the wrong person for the wrong reasons, and I think he married me for the wrong reasons as well. And so we we didn't really help each other. I thought getting married would make me happy, but you have to make yourself happy, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't work. You just have double the problems because now you're dealing with someone else, or they're dealing with you. They're dealing with me. So going through that and learning to be alone was really big. And then throughout that separation and divorce process, I got counselling, and that was a complete game changer for me. I read a
Mm-hmm.
book called The Drama of Being a Child by Alice Miller. Great book. And it just exploded my world. And since then, I started journaling and learning how to get self-esteem, self-confidence, positive affirmations. And then, yes, like you said, starting to do that, putting positivity out, because we're a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, I really link it back to my childhood of getting sick. I was a very sickly child, asthma, eczema, allergies. And then when I got diagnosed at 19 with a chronic illness, I realized at this point going through the counseling that I wanted to die. So it's no surprise that my body started to die. You have to want to live. Yeah, just putting that mind and body connection together, where if your mind believes something, it's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy completely, and mind and body is linked, you know? So, yeah, I was listening to your previous video, and I know you're talking a lot about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's on
Absolutely.
all
Yeah.
question, but Carol,
Yeah.
there's loads of words I passed you in your videos, Carol. So like you're obviously divinely protected as well. I love that.
I've got my family with me.
Mm,
That's wonderful. Thanks for sharing. And it's good to hear. I think people need to hear that. So I think some people think that healing the past and all that sort of stuff is some kind of weakness, but it's actually a strength, and that actually you can completely transform your life. And it's a
mm,
really important, you know, we've been through those journeys. And when you get to the other side and you realize how different life
mm.
is, you're like, oh my God, I just want everybody to
I know.
know. Like,
Oh my
and
God, I had so many fucking copies of The Secret, The Law of Attraction, and I get them to people. I was like forcing them down people's throats. I was like, please come with me, manifest with me. And do you think
Yeah.
any of them would listen? No, they're all still down there in 3D Earth. Live them off. You can't force somebody to actually manifest, but it breaks my heart. It's like we can live in abundance. We can live in good health. We can live in happiness
Mm,
if we actually just get control of our own minds.
yeah,
mm.
yeah, yeah. Right, that's
Absolutely
lovely. Thank
true.
you for
No
joining us.
Thanks a million.
It's lovely to be here with you. Thanks for allowing me to share.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
you.
it was. It's lovely, isn't it? And I think um, there's so many people that have the same stories, in not exactly the same, but it's the same threads, isn't it? That somewhere along the line they discover this journey of growth and processing and healing, and then they're like, you know, my life's so much better and I'm in such a better place. So yeah, it's lovely to hear that.